So this is the new film by David Fincher, based on a script by his late father, about the creation of the script of Citizen Kane. Mank is Joseph Mankiewicz, the screenwriter, played by Gary Oldman, who we find in the film essentially bedridden following an accident, having been told by Wells to write this script. And he's somebody who has drink problems, and that what they need to do is to keep him away from the alcohol for long enough to turn in the pages. Meanwhile, the film flips back in time to a political battle from the 1930s, which the film posits as the source of Mank's inspiration and disillusionment with William Randolph Hearst, who, of course, famously inspired, or didn't inspire, depending on which story you want to believe, famously inspired the character of Charles Foster Kane. So it is a movie about the creation of something that is considered to be one of the greatest movies of all time. Amanda Seyfried is Marion Davis, the starlet mistress of William Randolph Hearst, who may actually, depending on which theory you believe, may be the source of the word rosebud. Here's a clip.
I need a favor, but you're gonna have to promise you won't laugh.
Given the state of the world, a tall order.
You're gonna. I just know you are.
I have got such a hangover right now. There's just a fighting chance I won't.
I'm being burned at the stake, and I am dying for a ciggy boo. There. God's punishing you. Watch those stairs. They're treacherous.
Every moment of my life is treacherous. Any last words?
Welcome to San Simeon.
I've written worse.
You've never seen it?
No, but George Bernard Shaw was right.
How's that?
It's what got Mighty built. Had he had the money.
So, you know, there's a well-written screenplay, and some critics particularly have really enjoyed this. I have to say, I'm not as sold as others are. There have been many films about the creation of Citizen Kane. I mean, famously RKO 281, which came out in 1999, I think, which I thought was kind of fairly flat, was based as a drama, but it's kind of inspired by the documentary, The Battle Over Citizen Kane. There is this theory, which is the Pauline Kael theory, in a very famous article that she wrote, which argued that Mank was entirely responsible pretty much for the screenplay of Citizen Kane, and that Wells was trying to deny him credit. That theory has now been kind of pretty largely debunked. People who have studied the various drafts of Kane say, well, you know, Mank wrote a script, and then Orson Welles' input into it, I mean, the most recent study said it was not only substantial but also definitive. Also, the whole thing about, you know, credit, because Wells was contractually able to have sole credit, but not only did he not end up with sole credit, but he ended up with second credit in terms of the writing. So the film takes an argument which has been largely debunked, but is kind of dramatically engaging, then tries to find its own justification for everything that's going on in the script by tying it back to these political campaigns from the early 1930s, tying a lot of threads together in a way which is fanciful, but that's fine. I mean, it's a drama, it's not a documentary. I think the main problem is that the film is just fine. I mean, it looks absolutely great. There's a terrific score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, a couple of good performances. Actually, the best performance in the film, I think, is Charles Dance, who is great. I mean, the scenes that he's in, absolutely, he commands the camera. The rest of it, I was kind of less convinced by, because in the end it's a story which is trying to dramatize the writing of a script, which is a difficult thing to do, and therefore the film is full of kind of visual tics. I mean, it looks beautiful. There are nods to the visual style of Kane. There's a dropped bottle at one point which kind of recalls the snow globe, and it's fine. It is fine. It's not Citizen Kane. And I think that one of the weird things is that when you make a movie about Citizen Kane, it comes with a whole bunch of inherited baggage that it doesn't necessarily deserve. So it's fine, but it's no more than fine.